Welcome to the Empower Her Moments morning show, where we create intentional mindset shifts, empower women to embrace their potential, and open their hearts to their deepest desires. Join Margot, the beauty guru, your self-love and business strategist, and Dr. Alicia A. Williams, your transformation and empowerment coach. These dynamic women are here to guide you, inspire you, and uplift you. Together, they'll help you unleash your potential and own your journey. It's time to step into your greatness. Let's get started.
When was the last time a friend lovingly challenged you to be better, and how did you respond?
Listen, Dr. Alicia.
Come on with it.
I'm so glad we're having this conversation.
Come on with it today.
Listen, let me tell you something. I'm all about accountability.
Yes.
And let me tell you something. If you can't hold me accountable, we can't do it. We can't be friends.
I'm with you on that.
I just can't.
Most
we
definitely.
need it. We definitely need it.
We have to have it in these spaces. One of the things that I've learned is real friends check you.
Oh, absolutely.
They check you.
Absolutely.
But not shade you. See, there's a difference.
I love
there's
that.
a difference.
Yes.
One of the things that I've learned, I've had a girlfriend since my college days, my undergrad, my ace boom coon. One of the things I love about her just recently, she told me to stop playing with my potential.
Oh, let's come on.
She said, come on, Dr. A. Everybody sees what you don't always see in yourself. And I usually give myself a hard time, ladies. But let me just tell you something. If you don't have that friend in your life to pump you up and say, listen, you may not always see what I see, but let me tell you something. It's nothing like having a girlfriend kind of hold you by the hand and say, listen, what I do believe is iron sharpens iron.
Absolutely.
And if you have the right people in your life, they're going to tell you things that you may not necessarily always want to hear, but it's necessary for this season.
You're so right. And the thing is that I think a lot of times people throw out the word friendship very loosely.
Come on.
You know, very loosely. And so the thing is that we're going to talk today about what that real accountability friendship look like. You know, like Dr. Alicia said, this old age, honey, okay?
It's this big old age.
This big old age. You know, we got to talk about what that looks like. And I think a lot of times as women, we kind of run away from the thought or the feeling of someone holding us accountable. And we're having this conversation today because it's important that we get back to holding and saying, hey, listen, sis, if you're not doing something well, if you're not showing up as your best self, or if you're doubting yourself, sis, you got this. And I think we don't do it enough. And that's part of being like my sister's keeper.
It is being your sister's keeper because I'm known to be the affirmation queen, right? I'm known to pour into others, but a lot of times I don't think I always pour into myself enough.
That's
so
true.
there's no greater feeling than having your friend to say, listen, get your ish together.
Exactly.
Let me say that one more time. Get your ish together, ladies. If you don't have that kind of sister in your life, I'm going to need you, as we often say, check your circle.
Check your circle.
But I told y'all in the early season, I didn't have a circle. I had a few loyal dots around me.
That's right.
If you don't have those loyal dots around you to just simply pull you by the hand and say, sis, listen, I see this in you. You spoke at the beginning of this year that you were going to do X, Y, Z.
Accountability.
You have to have that accountability in your life because let me tell you something. We are human, ladies. We slip up at times. You know what? We get comfortable. Let's just call it what it really is today. We get comfortable and we don't always... We miss the mark sometimes. And sometimes we just need that gentle reminder.
Right. And let's be clear, ladies. And this for the ladies and the men. When we're in spaces, we have to check our ego. I'm going to say that again.
At the door.
You have to check your ego in your friendships. And what I'm realizing is that a lot of us sit with the posture of an ego in your friendship. And it causes you to feel like, well, who he think he is telling me this, or who she thinks she is telling me this. But if we love each other, we should always, it should always be a soft space for us to have conversations about any and everything. And so what I'm noticing is, and just hearing in conversations, a lot of times people get offended because that ego is involved in that space.
But let me tell you something I've always told my girlfriends is you can't do business with your feelings on your shoulder.
That's true.
I'm going to need you to take your feelings out of it because at the end of the day, I see something in you.
That's right.
And I'm only telling you what the world actually sees in you. So I'm going to always, as my book is titled, Dear Sis, Give It To You Straight, I'm going to always give it to you straight because that's the kind of friend that I am.
Well, that's the only friend you can be when you're in a thriving relationship. Let me tell you something. It's the difference between growth and it's the difference between being controlling, and you can't do both.
You cannot do both.
And I think a lot of times we don't talk about that. You know, a lot of times our controlling ways, our control, how we want to control everything around you causes you to stump your growth in relationships because what it does is it puts up blocks and restrictions where people feel like they can't come to you and talk to you. Let me tell you something. If you're in any friend relationship and you're not having any hard conversations, or you're not being postured to say, hey sis, that's not right. Hey bruh, that don't look good on you. Or bruh, you need to tighten up. It's clearly a problem. But what I've realized is a lot of people are okay with dwelling in those spaces.
Ooh, but let me tell you something. You're 100% right, Margot. One of the things that I also had to share with a lot of friends or just people in general, even in business, accountability is not an attack.
Absolutely.
I'm not attacking you.
Right.
If I'm coming from a friend group, I'm coming from a place of love. If I'm coming from business, I'm checking helping you to check your posture professionally. So, like I said, take your feelings out of it.
That's right.
I'm trying to help you be better in the space that you're trying to grow into.
Right.
Okay.
But that's what it's all about. And in friendships and relationships, it's all about growth. Yeah. It's all about thriving. I don't want to be in the same space that I was a year ago. I'm not even in the same space I was 3 months ago. Exactly. So it's like, it's so important because what happens is if you don't have that safe space in your friendship to grow, this finna get real uncomfortable, guys.
Come on.
When your friends start elevating, we finna have a real conversation. When things start changing for that person, if you haven't opened your heart and mind up to accountability, if you haven't opened your heart and mind up to those conversations that you guys have had, you'll miss it because guess what? You stay stagnant. You want to be in control. You don't want to grow. I like my life just the way it is. Well, at the end of the day, I'm going to keep growing. I'm going to keep leveling up. And then what happened in time, because you've stumped your growth, you become jealous. And now we're competing. And now we have this whole situation going on that shouldn't be happening. So that's why I feel like it's so important in this space in my life. If I can't check you as a friend, you can't be my friend.
But I 100% agree with you. In this season, at this big old age of 46,
absolutely.
Friendship check-ins are very vital. So when we talk about what matters most to me, I need the kind of friends that's going to come in and say, listen, I have watched you do this.
Absolutely.
But I know that you can do this.
Yes.
Because as I said earlier in the conversation, I see this in you. In this season, let's keep it real, because one of the things that we like to do on Empower Her Moments is keep it 100.
Absolutely.
I have been in a season where I felt like friends became distance when it came to my growth.
Right.
That they began to say negative things or feel some kind of way, because at the end of the day, one of the things that I've always said is, sis, if you was not so, if you could just take your eyes off of me for a moment, put your head down.
Yes.
Let me say this again. Put your head down and be still in this season, and you too can listen to what God has for you in this season.
Well, you have to run your own race.
You got to run your own race at your pace. Because let me tell you something, social media has a tendency of rushing you.
Right.
But I've learned early in my years of being an entrepreneur is to let me get still. Still does not mean that, something is wrong. I need to be still because I need to understand what God is calling me to do and how to move in this season. So get still, ladies.
Well, that happens a lot, right? That's all a part of accountability, Dr. Alicia. You got to be able to sit with yourself.
Please.
Because this is the thing.
So I'm scared,
you
though.
can't hold others accountable, and you can't be held accountable if you don't have the ability to self-reflect. You got to look inward.
A lot of people are afraid to hold themselves accountable. They are afraid to even look inward because they are afraid of what they see in the mirror.
Well, the thing is, it's required for adult healthy relationships.
It is.
Dr. Alicia. And that's the thing this is why we're talking about this, because there's so many adults that are out here and you're wanting to cultivate relationships, but you don't know quite how to do it authentically. And it's just so important. I can't be in relation with anyone that I can't talk about anything to empower you, or anything that I see that's not becoming of my friend. I always should have a safe space where I can say, hey, bruh, man, you got to tighten up.
Right.
And guess what? Every friend that I have in my life, they have permission to check me.
Please.
Every friend.
Please. There's no limits or limitations when it comes to me, is because I know what I have set out for myself, but I also want the right friends in my life to say, come on, let me take you by the hand. Even if this is unfamiliar territory,
absolutely, I
need that friend to say, sis, I got you.
Right, yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it has to be done so lovingly, but some of us are so comfortable being... Let me say this. Some of us are so comfortable being comfortable, they're scared to have the real conversation with their friends.
You're right about that. And so the thing is that the question I get asked a lot of times, because one thing about me, I'm always going to point you back to the source.
Come on.
I'm not one that sits. I'm going to tell you what's right and what's wrong, but I will always say, go to that person and have the conversation, because I believe in healthy communication, period. However, what I'm realizing is that sometimes we get in our own way. And especially when we encounter friends who have not been used to being held accountable, right? So it's like almost everything you do or say is an attack.
Right.
You know, and they have formed that level of, I wouldn't say manipulation, but it sort of kind of is a level of manipulation to keep people off of them.
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't want to see this. I don't want to deal with this. I know I have this bad behavior. My mama told me this. My husband told me this. My wife told me this. You got to be willing to look inward.
But that when they look inward, there's a level of insecurity. In this season, there's a level of insecurity that a lot of women and people in general deal with. So they're not ready to have those tough conversations about what everyone else sees on the outside. So when it comes to a lot of friendships that I've been in a lot of friendships just as a young adult, and even at this big age of 46, I've had to learn how to approach certain friendships, because every friendship you got to know. So let me give you an example. So we talk about the 5 love languages in our marriages, right? So understanding my husband and understanding what excites him. That's the same for with your friends. Understanding what motivates your friends. Understanding what brings them down. Use those same 5 love languages. How to approach each other. Because one of the things my mom always said to me is not what you say. It is how you say it. We have to, and as a friend, Margot, I have to be okay with saying, you know what, sis, you may not like what I'm going to say, but I can almost assure you it's coming from a place of love. Sometimes you have to put that up, depending on the friend. Depending on the friend, you've got to approach it at a level where they're going to feel comfortable and not intimidated about what you're going to say.
I totally understand it, and I agree with it. I guess my concern is that even when I approach with the softness, with the love, you still have to be open. Some people, you could approach them with love. You could rehearse your lines 10 times in the car before you make that call, and you're still met with offense. You still met with they're defensive. They feel like, you know, what you mean, and no, I didn't mean it like that. And then you get into this whole thing. And so in this season of my life, I just understand what I need and what works and what don't work. But however, what I can say, guys, is that when you get in those emotionally mature friendships and relationships where you guys can have those hard conversations, please make sure you provide a safe space so that you guys can encourage each other, so you guys can help each other. Because in my opinion, if I can't be real, we really don't have a real situation. Because I just don't.
I can't do fake in this season. And one of the things that I've also noticed, sometimes we think everybody is against us.
Correct.
Let me tell you what I've come to see and realize when it comes to a lot of, not just females, just people in general. You're the own weapon. You're the weapon that's forming against yourself. It is not the world. It is not social media. It's you. You're battling your own insecurities. So one of the things I want to revert back to and say all the time, you need to have that conversation and look inward with yourself, but also invite God to the table. Invite God to the table and ask him to open your mind, open your heart to receive what your friend or friends or family may be trying to tell you or show you in this season of your life.
Well, at the end of the day, you just have to be open. That's just what it requires. In any relationships that you're in, guys, we're in this to grow, and life wasn't meant for us to do it alone.
No, I'm not trying to do it alone. As they say, it takes a village.
Life was not meant to do it alone, guys. And I feel like this conversation is so important because I feel feel like people are suffering in silence.
Oh, yeah,
You know,
definitely.
this whole culture of, you know, I don't need anyone. You know, I don't need no friends, no new friends and all of this stuff. Everybody needs somebody.
Everybody needs
However,
somebody.
there's certain things and ways that you have to conduct yourself
That's right.
in healthy spaces and in healthy relationships. And I can be honest, in my earlier days, I wasn't always mature enough, right? To hear constructive criticism or to hear, Margot, that's not nice. Or to hear, Margot, you shouldn't speak that way. You shouldn't talk that way, right? But as I grew and as I had a determination to want to be more in life and be better, I had to do it different. So for those of you guys who are struggling in those social spaces and on the social scenes, you're having those friendships that are ending like, you know, the cutoff game was real, honey. Okay,
strong,
you
as
know,
they
you
say.
strong. You went to the block list, honey. You got to check yourself. You have to be able to assess and say, you know what? How could I have done this different
Right.
and actually do it different in the next relationship?
Exactly. But let me tell you something. Being the friend on the outside, I'm always considered to be the tough friend with love. That's not always received well by people, but it's usually not received well by people who are battling their own insecurities, as we talked about.
Correct.
But as I have grown and mature, I've learned to approach things a little bit differently.
Yes.
I'm just a no nonsense type of person.
Right.
I'm gonna love on you, but I'm going to give it to you straight.
That's the only way to do it.
That's the only way
If
to
I
do
can't
it.
do that, what are we doing?
What are we doing? Wasting
we doing?
time? Because I don't do fake friends. I don't do
Correct.
fake vibes. I don't do fake relationships. And if you are in a season where you're battling with fake friends and you're watching everybody around you do certain things and nobody's coming to you, you know you're not where you're supposed to be.
That's
Check
right.
your friends, because that means that your friends are comfortable with you staying right here.
Correct.
If nobody's saying, listen, this is what I see in you, and you're not making any moves, I need you to check your friends.
You know what? To your point, what I realize is that before you check your friends, you got to check yourself.
Come on. I don't have a bell to or whistle or nothing to ding
Before
there.
I
Right
check
there.
my friends and check my circle, let me tell y'all something, folks. We got to check ourselves.
That's true.
Because you know what? Any bad friendship, any bad relationship that I had to end, it started with me.
That's right.
I made the choice to enter into that relationship. I made the choice to ignore all of those red signs.
Come on, because they was there, honey.
I made the choice to go against what my moral compass was as a friend or what I thought wouldn't jive with me. I made those decisions.
But you know what you also did? That came with a level of maturity and growth. You're older, you're wiser now.
Correct.
So
but
you
it also came with me being accountable to myself. Because if I'm not accountable to me, how I'm gonna be accountable to you as my friend.
That's right.
You know, we have to look inward, guys, and we have to take accountability. Guess what? Any bad relationship I've been in, guys, I have taken accountability and said, you know what? I got in this relationship for this. And you know what? When you do this for this, this is what happens.
Right. This is the return.
This is the return on those kind of relationships. We got to be honest with ourselves, guys.
Right.
You got to be honest with yourself before you could be honest with someone else.
But you know, in friendships, you grow.
True.
I always believe in the words of Nelson Mandela, you never lose. You either win or you learn something. In this past season of my friendships, I don't feel like I lost anything.
Yes.
But what I do feel is that I've learned. At this age, I have learned so much about how to be a better friend, but also be mindful of the friends that I allow within my space. Because in this season, come on now. Did I just get that eye that we normally get? Okay, come on. Because in this season, I've got to protect. I've got too much to lose to allow anybody and just everybody in my space.
Dr. Alicia, the stakes are so high.
Too high, baby.
People don't talk about it.
They don't talk
but
about
let
it
me tell you
enough.
something. As you elevate and as you grow, listen, the stakes are higher.
Right.
And the longer you keep those people around you that's not supposed to be around you, the longer you keep those insecure people who don't want to grow and become better, as long as you keep those emotionally immature people around you, listen, it will cost you more each and every time. And see, I don't know about y'all, but I don't like learning my lesson more than once.
Okay.
I'm not one that got to keep going through it over and over. It's one time, one and done.
One and done.
honey.
Oh, you trying to get popped on the head again, as your mama say?
No.
One time and that's it.
One time and that's all. And guys, listen, it's just so important. Life is hard by itself.
Ooh.
Life is hard. Your personal stuff, your family stuff is hard along. And so when you're attaching yourselves in these spaces and these relationships, it's things that you got to think about.
Yeah.
And it's boundaries that you have to have. And you have to make sure as you're elevating, you're keeping the right people around you and in your space that's going where you're going, or that's where you thriving to go.
Exactly. So in this season, I'm so glad that we really touched on this, because I hear these conversations. Everything that we talk about is not always personal, but I love that we always have something that we can share, whether it be an experience of something that we watch our friends go through or even family go through. I have learned so much about accountability and within friendships. Oh my God. I could probably write a whole chapter on it. But what I will say is that it has helped. It continues to help and mold me and shape me to be the woman that I am today. It's because I've learned that having the right people. Let me say that again. Right. My maiden name is Right. Okay. But having the right people around you matters. I need that friend that's going to love on me, but give it to me straight at the same time. And don't be afraid of that.
And not only that, let's talk about this, Dr. Nisha. I'm going to pull you on over.
Come on, pull me on over.
I not only need friends who hold me accountable, right? Because that's something that we can do. Anybody that knows me know that I'm no nonsense. Okay, I'm gonna hold you accountable. Please hold me accountable. Matter of fact, you can't even be my friend if you're not holding me accountable. But what I realize is that in this next level of my life, because I'm in it right now, I don't only need friends to hold me accountable. I need friends that are going to pray for me and cover me. You hear me?
Come on.
So let me tell you something. The circle is real small.
It has to be.
Let's talk about real meaningful friendships. Those friendships that's really going to help you go on the journey. Because that's what a lot of us are on. We're on our life journeys. And at the end of the day, you know, the friendships we had in our 20s, you know, was for the 20s. And those friendships we had in our 30s were for the 30s. But as you're coasting along life, and as we're getting to that midpoint in life, you know, life looks a whole lot different.
A whole lot different. And which means that circle has to look a whole lot different.
Absolutely.
If those friendships are not only holding you accountable, not praying for you, then we're wasting time.
We're wasting time.
Because I know in this next phase of my life, I need women who are going to cover me.
Yes.
Not cover me at the club. Not cover me at brunch, but I need you to cover me. Not just me, but I need you to cover my business. I need you to cover my family. I need you to cover everything that God has called me to do. I need you to cover me in that season. That is a part of holding friends accountable.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of these friends, they only want a good time with you.
Listen.
Come on, let me say, baby, there's not enough brunches in this world. It's not enough brunches in this world. I'm tired of eating out. Come on, let's sit down and let's pray about this next season. That is accountability.
And two, let's be open for the hard conversations. You know what I'm realizing? Like, as I'm maturing, I get bored real easily these days, you know.
I know. That's that growth.
I'll be needing a little bit more, right? So the surface friendships, you know, are acquaintances, right? But those real to the core friendships, we hold each other accountable, right? Even in our moments where we're expressing and not being our best, we're holding each other accountable, but it's just something about a friend that'll pray for you. Let me tell y'all something. And I'm in this new season, honey. I ain't got one on the squad that don't pray for me and mine. You hear what I'm saying?
Not one.
Not one. But when I say it changed my friendship space, it changed my life, y'all. When I started associating myself with people who loved God, God-fearing people, spiritual people. I ain't say you had to go to church and be a Christian and go to church every Wednesday and Sunday.
You ain't got to knock down the doors.
You ain't got to knock down the doors. But you are spiritual. You have a spiritual compass about yourself. You are a good person. Those are the people that I only have in my space.
First of all, I need God to be at the head of everything. And that includes friendships. You need women who are going to sit with you and literally pray over you. Let me tell you something, ladies. Ain't nothing like it. It's one of the best feelings in this world. And I can tell you, for just having that in my life in this season, I know we can both attest to that. It has changed my life in so many ways. Not only just my life, my marriage, the way that I move with my children, and business too as well. Because I've always said that putting God first in all things is just the gateway to more.
Absolutely.
It is definitely the gateway to more. So I know we're talking about accountability, but prayer is holding each other accountable. You've got to have that as a part of your plan.
Yes, and I love that. And like you were saying, just the season when you can be covered.
Come on,
because that's my thing. My husband covered me. I already got that. But then it's another level. It's another level of protection when you are associated with people who are covering you. Listen, let me tell you guys something. Relationships are very important. Friendships are very important. And so today, my thought process is not all about finding the right friend. It's really truly about, Dr. Alicia, me being the right friend.
Come on.
Right? Because my thing is, I'm going to attract who I am. In this season, I have learned to attract who I am. And I think so many times we get caught up with past hurt from relationships. Every friendship that has ended for me, I've always had the wherewithal to say, you know what, Margot, what could you have done different?
Yes.
And even if my different would have been never talking to you from the beginning, or when I saw you behave a certain way, I should have cut it off. I have to own that.
That's right.
And we have to not only hold other people accountable around us, we also have to be accountable to ourselves. And that's how we show up being that good friend, being that good wife, that good husband. That's how you show up that way.
Just not only that, just being an overall good person.
Yes, it's important.
It's vital in this season.
It's just so important. So listen, guys, this conversation was truly amazing. It was needed. I think we all needed it.
Come on.
Let me tell you something. I can always open myself up for a good friend conversation, because guess what, guys? Every single day we're interacting with people, right? And every single day we're growing and thriving to be a better person. Why don't you just position yourself where you're the best version of yourself as you navigate, and then you would attract some amazing, amazing people. So at the end of the day, iron sharpens iron, okay? So make sure you not only get a friend that'll hold you accountable, but a friend that'll stand in the gap and pray for you, okay? So we really enjoyed this conversation, Dr. Alicia. This was amazing.
We'll have to come back and visit this topic again.
We will come back and visit. So if you're still navigating this journey, Dr. Alicia and I are here to support you. Schedule your coaching consultation with us at empowerhermoments.com and become part of the Empower Her Moments community. Thank you for joining us on Empower Her Moments Morning Show. This episode is powered by Platinum Luxury Fleet, the ultimate transportation experience. Book your black car service today by visiting platinumluxuryfleet.com. Until next time, keep shining, stay empowered, and know that you are capable of amazing things. See you next time.
Have a great one, everyone. Thanks for joining us.